Hi, kindergarten. We have been learning about a lot of different types of plants and different plant processes and about seeds and honeybees and just so many different things. But today we're going to learn about a specific type of plant and even more so, a specific type of tree. We're going to be talking about deciduous trees. You might not have heard about deciduous trees, but you've definitely seen them before. Okay, our first vocabulary word is bare. Bare means without any covering. So you might walk around the house with bare feet. That means no socks, no shoes, no covering. Bare. Our next word is deciduous. Now, deciduous means losing leaves every year. So a deciduous tree will start losing its leaves in autumn or fall. Remember how we talked about why the leaves turn orange? How it means that they're ready to fall off the tree. Our next word is dormant. Dormant means not active or asleep. So the tree was dormant during the long winter. And you can see it's dormant because it doesn't have any leaves. Our next word is habitat. That's a place where an animal or plant lives that has food, water, and shelter. Look at this. See how a lot of animals could live there? Our next word is sheds. Sheds means to drop or lose or separate from something. So a dog might shed hair from his coat whenever he lies down. This person is brushing off some of that fur to try to make it not get everywhere. But you can shed stuff when you drop it or lose it or it separates from you. It's shedding. Okay, I hope you all are ready to learn about some trees. So what do you see in this picture right here? This picture is of a forest. Forests are made up of many trees and other plants. So if you look at this picture, what types of trees do you see? It honestly looks kind of like how it looks right outside my window right now with all that snow. What time of year would it be in this picture? Yeah, it's definitely winter. What living things do you see? See a tree here, see a tree here. How are the trees different from one another? Well, there are two different types of trees in this picture. They're deciduous and evergreen. Deciduous, evergreen. Evergreen trees in this picture will still have their leaves even in the winter. So a good way to remember these trees is by the word ever in their name. Ever means always. So an evergreen tree is always, always green. Do you see the green in this picture on these trees? Yeah. Now, deciduous trees do not keep their leaves in the winter. Deciduous means the trees lose or shed their leaves in the fall and grow again in the spring. Pretty cool. So our main topic, our main idea of today's lesson is deciduous trees. Listen carefully to find out what happens to deciduous trees throughout the year. Here we go. There are many different kinds of plants in the world. Although each is unique and special in its own way, most plants found on land are either deciduous or evergreen. Remember, a deciduous plant is one that loses its leaves, and an evergreen plant is one that does not lose its leaves and is always green. This is a picture of an apple tree in the winter. An apple tree sheds its leaves every fall, so it is a deciduous tree. Deciduous is a tricky word to say because it has four parts. Let's say the word together. You ready? Deciduous. Deciduous. Whew, it's really tricky to say that word, deciduous. The four parts of the word deciduous can actually help you remember that deciduous trees change in each of the 4 seasons. Seasons happen in a cycle or a circle over and over again. Spring, summer, fall, and winter. Let's start with spring, when new things start growing. In the spring, the apple tree produces new leaves and apple blossoms or flowers. Remember Polly the honeybee? This is the time of year when she starts taking nectar from the inside of flowers. When she flies from flower to flower, she helps spread the pollen that is going to help the apples grow. In the summer, apple trees grow, and they grow many, many more green leaves. Apples begin to grow out of the blossoms. In the fall, the apples of the tree are fully grown and ready to pick. The leaves on the apple tree start to change to red and yellow, and then they fall off to the ground. Over time, the leaves on the ground will break down into tiny pieces and become nutrients in the soil. Remember, nutrients is like food for the tree. Here is the apple tree in the winter again. Remember, the seasons repeat in a cycle or circle over and over again every year. This apple tree has bare branches again, meaning they are empty and without covering or leaves. That is because plants do not get as much sunlight during the winter as they do during the spring and summer. In the apple tree's habitat, remember that's where an animal or plant lives, the weather becomes cold and there's less light from the sun. With less light from the sun, the tree's leaves cannot make food through photosynthesis. Because the apple tree cannot make food during the winter, it must conserve or save its energy. It does this by becoming dormant. That means to stay asleep or not active. Like you're sleeping. When the apple tree goes dormant, it stops making leaves, blossoms, and apples, and its branches become bare. This image shows an apple tree in all 4 seasons. Remember, the apple tree is a deciduous tree because it loses its leaves every year. In the spring, an apple tree is nice to look at with its white blossoms. In the summer, you can climb in its branches, sit under the shade of its large green leaves, and admire the apples as they grow out of the blossoms. In the fall, you can pick the apple tree's fruit and watch its leaves change color before falling off. And in the winter, you can play in the snow under its bare branches. Although trees are special to us in many ways, it's important to remember that trees are also very important in nature. Trees, more than any other plant, help keep the air clean and safe to breathe, which you will learn more about next time. They also provide food and homes for countless animals. So the next time you see a big tree, wrap your arms around it and give it a big hug, just to show you understand how important it is. Gotta love trees. Alrighty, you can go ahead and, I guess not click on the exit ticket below. You can go ahead and get ready to talk about this video with Mr. Malcolm in your small group. And no exit ticket today. Great job, kindergarten.